Hello guys, it's Den here, and today I've finally finished my Genki book for Japanese. So this is the first chapter of the book. There are 2 chapters, and I've got the second chapter right here. It came in the mail like a week ago, and now I'm finally finished this one. So I guess it's finally time to move on to the next one. And I was happy to find out that in the faculty that I'm moving to at in university, they have only studied 11 chapters in here, 11 units out of 12, and I hope to make as much progress as I can with the second part before I start studying. I have like four days until studying starts. So first, I also wanted to show you guys these books. Recently, before New Year's, a friend of my sister's came from Japan. They studied in the US for several years, so they're very good friends. And she came over to visit Russia. And I was like showing her around the city because my sister was busy at the moment. So I had an opportunity to actually talk to a native speaker in person. So that was very nice. And she brought these 2 books, Japanese books for kanji. These are like books for children. One of these says 4, 5, 6 years old, and the other one says 5, 6, and 7 years old. And I went through both of these books, and I happen to already know every single kanji that was in these. So that was a bit of a shame, but I guess I'm absolutely going to keep them, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll show these to my children someday in the future. But still, it was very nice of her to bring these. Alright, so let's get into this. This one actually came from Russia because I found a store that sold these books in Russia. So that was pretty cool. They sell like all sorts of different Japanese textbooks. And the first part I bought from Japan. There it is. Oh man, I was waiting for this. Actually, first, I bought like a picture book of Genki. They have like this picture book, which is basically for flashcards, like to print out. And I had no idea that thing even existed, and I accidentally bought that instead of this. But luckily, the store that I bought it from was nice enough to make a return possible, so they just refunded the money. And this one came at the end of December from a Russian store this time, because they were a bit more expensive from abroad. Alright, is this like a letter? Oh, this is the letter from the store. I guess yeah, you can see this is the store that I bought it from. It's a Russian store, tokado.ru. There it goes. Looks pretty much the same like as the first one. It's just green. Man, I really like this. I don't know about you guys, but I just get really excited to open up a new language book. Oh, right. They have a CD. I'll open this up. Luckily, you can actually download this from the CD to your computer, so you don't have to just carry the CD around. Well, yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same as the first book. It just continues what was taught in the first one. Now, I guess I should do like a mini review of Genki now that I've studied 1 chapter of it. Let me just talk about how you study with it. So first you listen to the dialogue on the CD, and you read it yourself as well. Then comes all of the vocab. They actually have a CD part for the vocab. I never really did it. I just wrote it all down into my notebook for Japanese. So then comes all of the grammar. I usually did this, all of the stuff that I had to write down in my notebook, like the vocab and grammar. I did that stuff at university, so that I could come home and do the listening part. Oh yeah, they have the little expression notes, and then comes the practice. This is like the speaking part where they will ask you to do some tasks. Oh, I actually know this. Taberu and taberareru. So taberu means to eat, and taberareru means can eat. And they just want you, like for example, hanasu is going to be hanaseru, and so on. So they want you to conjugate the verb properly. And then there's a bunch of speaking, and unfortunately there are quite a few of these pair work lessons or exercises. Of course, I cannot do these because I'm studying alone. Actually, I will be able to do these when I enroll into the Japanese faculty, and I'll be studying with other students. So yeah, that'll be pretty good to do these exercises. And then they have culture note after the practice, and then they have some useful expressions here, and then comes the next chapter. But what I did not realize for the first 7 units that I did is that you're supposed to do one grammar chapter and then go to the next part of the book, and then it goes to yomekaken, which means reading and writing section. Here you actually learn the kanji, and then it goes into writing practice, and there's actually a very nice listening part here as well, which has a big text, and they read out the text for you, and you have to read along. I actually like this part because you actually have to read the text and try to understand what they're talking about. So those are pretty nice. And these reading and writing chapters are pretty short, as you can see. But yeah, you're supposed to do one grammar chapter and then one, or not chapter, unit. Why am I saying chapter? One grammar unit and then one reading and writing unit. So, and I actually did the first 7 grammar units, and then I just looked what the writing units look like, and I realized that I was supposed to do them parallel to each other. I think they should have just organized the book so that it was like one grammar, one reading, writing, but they did it like this. Anyways, it's a great book. For a beginner Japanese learner, I would suggest this above everything else. Even though I've not tried everything else, I think it's a very good choice. Like, I've heard a lot of people talk about this specific book, and some people start off with Minna no Nihongo, which means Japanese for everybody. I'm not sure if that's better or not, but I think this is the most popular, and it's probably the most popular for a reason. So, having studied with it, I can't suggest it enough. Alright guys, so that's about it. I'll make a little update once I finish this book, and I guess the next video that I'll make about this will be when I buy my intermediate Japanese book. So these two are just beginner Japanese, and once I get into intermediate Japanese, I'll talk about the second part, and then I guess we'll see what the intermediate book is like. That's about it, guys. I'll see you later. Goodbye.